Hey guys, and welcome back to the Santa Spricks. My name is Jevin, and today I'll be telling you the story of my trip to Denmark. Now initially, this trip was just to go to the LEGO house to see my build on display in person. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, make sure you go and watch the last video. And while I will be talking about the LEGO house in this video, I also am going to be talking about everything else that I did in Denmark. So, let's get started.
Our trip started in Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark. And our first day in the city was mostly spent exploring and recovering from jet lag. One of the first places we went was the Rosenborg Castle. The castle was originally built in 1606 and was a summer house for the family of King Christian IV. The castle was used as a residence by Danish royals until about 1710. Since then, the castle has actually been burned down twice, the first being in 1794 and the second being in 1801. It is home to the royal collections, which include many artifacts from Danish history, the crown jewels, and even the coronation chair of Denmark. Later in the afternoon, we took a boat tour through the Copenhagen harbor and its surrounding canals.
We hope you had a great tour here with us and have a wonderful evening here in Copenhagen.
Day 2 was our second and final day in Copenhagen. And the first thing we did was visit the Copenhagen Zoo. Now, because Denmark is the home of LEGO, it is the best place to find old and rare LEGO things. So during this trip, I was keeping my eyes open for anything LEGO in toy stores, thrift stores, and antique shops. And the first store that caught my eye in Copenhagen was the Replay Toy Store. Now, this store had an entire separate room for all of the LEGO that it was selling. And they had a lot of variety. Everything from this Mars mission base, this Belleville house, entire bins full of instructions, Bionicle and Star Wars store displays, which unfortunately weren't for sale, Exoforce, a UFO set, a Ninjago backpack, Bionicle, this Ferrari F1 car, this weird watch, a whole shelf of minifigures, and all kinds of cool stuff. I ended up getting this Belleville kitchen set, as well as a few Fabuland figures. After that, we traveled to one of the most iconic places in all of Copenhagen, which is the Nyhavn Harbor. Now, Nyhavn is known for its brightly colored houses, which line either side of the canal. It is also home to many restaurants, cafes, shops, and even the former home of Danish author Hans Christian Andersen. After eating lunch in Nyhavn, it was back to LEGO hunting. And the next store I went to was the BR Toy Store. Now, as this was just a toy store and not a resale store, they only carried current LEGO products. However, there were a few really cool LEGO statues that I had to get a picture with. However, just down the street was the official Copenhagen Lego store. And there were a few really unique things here. The first of which was a Lego space brick made by the European Space Agency. Now, these bricks were on display in a handful of Lego stores in 2024, but what makes them so unique is that they are made from a meteorite. Specifically, the dust from a meteorite was used to 3D print these Lego bricks. They also had some really cool displays as well, including a life-size Lego C-3PO and R2-D2, as well as a Lego version of Nijhaven. There's also a cool display of the history of the Lego logo, as well as the Lego store's mascot, Brickley the Sea Serpent. Now, while I was here, I picked up a blue Lego keychain and a Lego passport. Now, you can get a Lego passport at any Lego store in the world, and every single store has their own unique stamp. So, as you visit more stores, you can collect the stamps in your Lego passport. After the Lego store, I then went to an antique shop, trying to see if I could find any old Lego antiques. Because if you didn't already know, Lego originally started out as a wooden toy company before switching it to making Lego bricks in 1949. Now, original Lego wooden toys are really hard to find today. This is because in both 1942 and in 1960, the Lego company's wooden toy warehouse actually burnt down and destroyed virtually all of their wooden toys. However, some did survive to this day, and Denmark is the best place to find them. However, there weren't any in this antique store. Later that evening, we went to one of Copenhagen's biggest attractions, the Tivoli Gardens. Not only was Tivoli Gardens full of live music, great food, and super fun rides, but they also have their very own Lego store. Now, these regularly available retail Lego sets aren't exactly what I'm looking for on this trip. So while I didn't purchase anything at this Lego store, I did get another stamp for my Lego passport. The next day, it was time to leave Copenhagen and start making our way to Billund and to the Lego house. And on our way, we stopped at the Igskov Castle. Now, this castle was built in 1554 and is surrounded by acres of beautiful gardens. Afterwards, it was time for some more Lego shopping, this time in a kirppu, or flea market. Now, this store probably had one of the craziest and most diverse selection of Lego products that I've ever seen. They had some sealed sets from the Botanical Collection and Harry Potter. They had a lot of used sets, including some from Lego Friends, this Lego Dots set, these little Lego City sets, the Avengers Tower, and the Ninjago Mino creature. Not only that, but they had a huge selection of Lego video games. But what surprised me the most was the strangest selection of Lego fashion products. This included Lego branded jeans, sweatpants and other clothing, a Nexo Knights pencil case, a surprisingly large number of Lego backpacks, and these crazy Knights Kingdom pants. However, what interested me the most were these bags of bulk Lego bricks. Specifically, it looked like they were from classic space and classic town sets. And that was just too cool of a find to pass up. We had made it to Billund, and day 4 was all about one thing, the Lego house. First things first, we went inside and got our wristbands. And even before entering the main part of the Lego house, there were already some really cool things in the lobby. The first was this life-sized version of the Lego Technic McLaren F1 car. And the second thing looked very familiar, as it was another one of the Lego space bricks. But now it was time to head inside, and the first thing we saw was the absolutely huge Tree of Creativity. This tree is over 15 meters high and is made up of more than 6 million Lego bricks. And it's full of amazing details, from their very first wooden toys all the way to their modern day themes. The tree of creativity led us up to the next part of the LEGO house, the Masterpiece Gallery. The Masterpiece Gallery is home to the 3 LEGO house dinosaurs, which are each built using the 3 different building systems: LEGO Duplo, LEGO System, and LEGO Technic. The Masterpiece Gallery also showcases the best of the best when it comes to LEGO artwork. These models were all built by a handful of adult fans of LEGO who are all super talented. And the Masterpiece Gallery does an incredible job of showcasing that. Next up after the Masterpiece Gallery is the Green Zone, which is home to the entire reason for this trip. This is where the LEGO House fan exhibition is, which includes my very own build, the mining sector. Also in the Green Zone is the World Explorer section, which is home to these incredible minifigure scale builds. These LEGO worlds are huge and are full of hidden secrets and details. The Green Zone is also home to the Build a Minifigure section. Here you can dig in thousands of pieces and build your own unique minifigure. Not only that, but you can even have them star on the front cover of a LEGO magazine. Next, after the Green Zone, was the Yellow Zone. The Yellow Zone is home to the Mood Mixer section, which is where you can build your own LEGO character and bring it to life on a digital dance stage. It is also home to the Flower Artist section, where you can build a LEGO flower and plant it in a meadow alongside many others. Also in the Yellow Zone is the Fish Designer section, where you can build a LEGO sea animal and release it into the aquarium. The Yellow Zone also has its own fan exhibition. After the Yellow Zone, it was time for lunch, which means it was time to head to the LEGO House's very own restaurant, Mini Chef. However, Mini Chef is not a normal restaurant, because you literally get to build your meal. The LEGO bricks at each table correspond to a different item of food on the menu, which means all you have to do is build your meal and scan the order. And once your order is ready, you can pick up your food from the 2 serving robots, Robert and Roberta. And not only was this one of the most fun restaurant experiences that I've ever seen, but the food was also delicious. The booths also had bulk LEGO bricks as well as LEGO books and magazines in case you ever got bored. After lunch, it was time to head to the Blue Zone. Now the Blue Zone is home to one of the newest LEGO House experiences, which is the Build the Change section. Here you can use your creativity and all the LEGO bricks provided to build and design your very own spacecraft of the future. Just like the Green and Yellow Zone, the Blue Zone also has its own fan exhibition. Also in the Blue Zone is the Test Driver section, which is where you can build your very own race car and see how it fares on the racetrack. Leaving the Blue Zone, next up is the Red Zone. The Red Zone is all about creativity, and it's where you can find the giant LEGO waterfall. Here you can build anything you want using your imagination and the endless amount of LEGO bricks. And while the other zones have the fan exhibition, the red zone is home to the LEGO House Visitor exhibition, which is where you can find LEGO models that were built here in the red zone by other visitors. After the red zone, it's time to head down into the basement to find the LEGO History Collection. This is the LEGO House's official museum and explores the entire history of the LEGO Group. You can follow the company's entire history from when it started making wooden toys, to when they switched to creating plastic toys, to the first LEGO bricks, to the creation of our favorite LEGO themes, to where the company is now and everything else in between. The History Collection is also home to hundreds of the most iconic LEGO sets. And for the sets not physically present, you can find them in the digital vault. It is also home to this incredible mosaic of the LEGO logo. After visiting the History Collection, next up was the 6 Bricks experience. Here, not only do you get to see the process of molding LEGO bricks in the LEGO molding machine, but you also get your very own personal combination of 6 2x4 LEGO bricks. And there are over 915 million different combinations that these 6 bricks can make. Finally, the LEGO House is also home to its very own LEGO store. However, there are a few things that make this one unique. The first of which is the exclusive sets. Every year since 2020, the LEGO House has had its very own exclusive set, which you can only buy in this LEGO store. And luckily, they had 4 out of the 5 here. And not only are these sets exclusive to the LEGO House, but they also are signed. This is because the LEGO House is in Billund, Denmark, which is where LEGO has their global headquarters. Which means that this is the only LEGO store in the world where designers will come in and sign the sets that they've worked on. Now, the LEGO store within the LEGO House also has 2 other really cool things. The first of which is the minifigure factory. This is where you can design your very own custom minifigure torso and have it printed there right in the store. I also got my passport stamped. Not only that, but it also has a LEGO mosaic maker. This photo booth will take your picture and will turn it into a LEGO mosaic right there in the store. It also, for some reason, plays a LEGO Ninjago ad from 2016. So after I completed my purchases, that concluded the LEGO House tour. Now just a few blocks away from the LEGO House is the house where LEGO began. Specifically, this is the house of Ole Kirk Christensen, who was the founder of the LEGO Group back in 1932. Before leaving Billund, we also had to stop at the LEGO Global headquarters. And while it is not open to the public, it was definitely cool to see. Okay, day 5. That means it's the second to last day of the trip, which means it's now or never to find some old rare LEGO. Luckily, I knew just the place to go, and that was another flea market known as Flo. And once I started looking around the store, I knew we had hit the jackpot. This place was filled with rare LEGO. They had this old LEGO flag, translucent printed bricks, bulk bags of LEGO, a bunch of polybags, boxes of Modulex, LEGO tree elements, more polybags, more Modulex, more bulk bricks, a LEGO game, bins of figures, tons of old LEGO pieces, these big windscreens, this old brick separator, this dinosaur jaw, Fabuland figures, more Fabuland figures, more bulk bricks, these games figures, these old clear bricks, even more bags of bricks, these huge Modulex base plates, these LEGO books, bins of bricks, more Modulex, old LEGO base plates, bags of printed pieces, more Modulex, these printed slopes, old Lego train pieces, more poly bags, more old printed pieces. When I say a lot of Modulex, I mean a lot of Modulex. All kinds of rare event minifigures and pieces, even more chrome bricks, early Lego toys including a wooden train, even more Fabuland figures, more old printed bricks, more boxes of Modulex, perhaps the biggest find of the day, Lego wooden blocks. Even more Fabuland figures, tons of rare figures from Lego Company events, and so much more. I ended up getting a ton of stuff at the store, and don't worry, I'll break down the entire haul later. Now, it was around this point that I realized I had no way to bring this Lego stuff back with me. And after getting 6 sets as well as a ton of stuff at thrift stores, there just was no way I was going to be able to cram all this stuff into my current luggage. So I needed a really big suitcase. Luckily there was one, and it certainly stood out. The rest of the day was spent traveling to Aarhus, and we stopped at a few places along the way. We stopped at this deer park and this infinity bridge. In Aarhus, we also explored the harbor as well as the local food market. Finally, with this being our last night in Denmark, it was time to pack. So after playing a little bit of Lego Tetris, I was able to get all of our Lego finds to fit in our brand new suitcase so that it would be all set for tomorrow. Day 6 was our last day in Denmark. The day started off with taking the Aarhus ferry back towards Copenhagen. We stopped by a beautiful cathedral along the way and then headed to the Copenhagen airport. But before boarding the plane, there was one more thing I had to do. Copenhagen just happened to have a Lego store in its airport, which meant one more stamp for the passport. And after that, it was time to fly home.
I made it back, and hopefully so did everything else that we found in Denmark. So without further ado, I think it's time to open up this suitcase and take a look at the entire haul from Denmark. So here we have all of the Lego things that I found during my time in Denmark. So let's go through this to see what we got. So first let's start by going through these sets that I bought at the Lego house. Starting off with these exclusive signed Lego house sets. The first of which is the wooden duck. Now this set is what started the exclusive line of Lego house sets back in 2020. And it probably is the most recognizable. Now while I am planning on opening up and building all of these sets, I also am going to be saving the box. Especially because I was able to get them all signed. And because I want to keep the boxes, that's why I needed to get the extra suitcase. And I'm glad I did because these sets came back in a pretty okay shape. You can see this one has a little bit of damage up on the top, but overall not too bad. So let's move on to our next set, which is the third set in the Lego House exclusive set line, the Master Builder set. Now this was the Lego House exclusive set back in 2022, and this one didn't make it back in quite as nice shape. It has some damage on the front face of the box, and a little bit on the top as well. But like I said, I am going to be opening all of these up anyway, and it still has the signature on it. But we also have a lot more sets to get to, so let's move on to the next one, which is the minifigure tribute set. Now this set is from 2023 and probably is my second favorite Lego House exclusive set. Only behind the duck, of course. And this one actually made it back in really good shape. There's almost no damage on it anywhere. and I'm super excited to build this one. But now let's move on to this year's LEGO House exclusive set, the LEGO Building Systems Tribute. This set is 2024's LEGO House exclusive set, and it only came back with a little bit of damage up on the top. So those are the 4 LEGO House exclusive sets that I was able to get, but there were 2 other sets that I got as well. And those were the Mosaic Maker set, and the customizable minifigure from the Minifigure Factory. And for purchasing all of these sets, I also got the Micro Rocket Launchpad gift with purchase. Now, I thought it was really cool to get a classic space themed gift with purchase while I was in the LEGO house to see my classic space themed build. And I'm also really interested to see how this Mosaic Maker set turns out, but we're going to save that one for another video. However, I do want to take a look at our custom minifigure. So here you can see we have our custom minifigure, but the coolest piece of this, of course, is the torso. On the front you can see I have the LEGO House logo, and on the back I have some exclusive prints from the LEGO House Minifigure Factory. So now that we've seen the sets that I bought at the LEGO House, let's take a look at what other souvenirs I got from there. So first up we have the 6 LEGO Bricks bag, as well as our own custom combination. Now one thing that I think is really cool about this is actually one of the first paper LEGO bags I've seen in person. And of course we also have to make our custom combination. And I also have a bag of bricks from the Mini Chef, as well as my actual order. So now that we've seen what I got from the LEGO house, let's see what I was able to find at all the different thrift stores. Starting off with all of these bulk bags of LEGO. Now these are actually one of the purchases that I'm the most excited about, because not only are these super cheap, I'm excited to figure out what sets are actually in here. However, I'm going to do that in a separate video, so if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe. So let's take a look at our other thrift store finds. Starting off with all of the Fabuland figures that I found. So here we have all of the Fabuland figures. And I'm actually really happy that I was able to get so many different types of figures. I just love the design of these figures, and especially all of the cool, unique head molds. But one of the things that surprised me the most was this Policeman Fabuland figure. I didn't even realize they made those. We also have a mouse, white cat, red monkey, gray goat, orange monkey, brown bear, white sheep, brown raccoon, a police dog, a pig, a cow, a black parrot, a bunny, a horse, and a white dog. So now that we've looked at all of our Fabuland figures, it's time to move on to the next items that we found at the thrift store. So here we just have an assorted collection of the other parts that I found at the thrift stores in Denmark. Starting off, we have these 2 big Mosasaurus jaw pieces. And these are from the classic dinosaur sets back in 2001. Those both are some really unique pieces, and I'm really glad that I could find them. We also have these 3 little homemaker kitchen builds, those being a cupboard, a sink, and a stove. We have the original Han Solo in carbonite piece, a stickered wall piece from a 1999 train station, a chrome gold 2x2 brick, and some of these microfigures from LEGO Games sets. We have some little Heroica figures, some Pharaoh's Quest figures, a Star Wars Snowtrooper, as well as just a pearl gold one. Now there are 2 other random pieces that I didn't include here just because they're a little weird. So let's take a look at those now. First up we have this slightly cursed Legoland figure. And while the drawn-on face of this figure is maybe a little bit scary, the torso printing is super cool. But I actually couldn't find anything online about this torso piece, so I'm not sure if it's official or not. But let's move on to the next piece, which would have been this old LEGO flag piece, but unfortunately it did not make it back in one piece. But we're not done yet, so let's keep moving on. Now these next items are probably my favorite thing that I found on the entire trip. And those are these wooden blocks. Now at first glance you might wonder what makes these wooden blocks so special. Well, before LEGO ever made plastic toys, they made wooden ones, including these wooden blocks. So as you can see here, I have 4 different wooden LEGO blocks, each of them with their own number at the bottom. You'll notice as well that LEGO is printed on the top of these blocks, which is how you know that they are from the LEGO group. Now, back when they were making LEGO toys, LEGO actually made 3 different versions of these wooden blocks. The first of which actually included these two. Now, I know that these are from the first set of LEGO blocks because they have black printing on the bottom, whereas the second set of blocks used red printing on the bottom and had blocks numbered 1 through 36. Now, the original blocks were made back in 1948 when LEGO was actually a wooden toy company. But then, 50 years later, LEGO actually remade these ones with the red printing in honor of the 50-year anniversary of the original blocks. Which means it can be really hard to tell the originals apart from the reissued ones. But I do think that these ones are original, because not only did I find them in Denmark, but the LEGO logo up at the top is printed in red. And for most of the images that I've seen online, the reissued one only has the number in red and the logo doesn't have any paint on it. Now, I got these 4 specific blocks because there are some fun things that I can spell with them. I can almost spell LEGO, replacing the G with a Q, and I can spell my initials. And who knows, maybe one day I'll even have enough to spell out the Sanus bricks. But for the time being, I'm super happy to have found an antique LEGO wooden toy, these wooden blocks from Denmark. Now, the next unique LEGO item that I found during my time in Denmark was some Modulex. Now, at first glance, Modulex might actually look like it's a competitor of LEGO. You see, back in the 1960s, LEGO was viewed as a kid's toy. So in order to combat that, the LEGO group tried making LEGO bricks in a new scale, which resulted in Modulex. And just for a comparison, here is a 2x4 modern LEGO brick compared to a 2x4 Modulex brick. And you'll even notice that the Modulex brick still has the LEGO logo on it. And they kept it that way until 1965 when Modulex became its own company, and now it has an M located on the studs. So during my time in Denmark, I got these 2 boxes of Modulex, as well as these 2 bulk bags. And I'm actually really happy with the assortment that I got. I got some pieces with the Modulex branding on it, as well as some bricks with the LEGO branding on it. And I also got some of these cool printed number pieces. And it was just really neat to find this really interesting piece of LEGO's history.
And that is my entire LEGO haul from Denmark. So that was my trip to Denmark. And once again, I just want to thank the LEGO House and the LEGO Group for this incredible opportunity. And also a thank you to my family who I got to go on this amazing trip with. And thank you so much for watching. This video is a little different than my usual style, so please let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this. I also have some awesome videos in the works that should be coming very soon. So until then, see ya!